And we're back. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of God Concept. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Hope you took your time, bathed yourself, and took your time to, explore your spirituality and mental space. Play your head a bit. I figured out this thing called meditation spots, right? Or meditation points. And what a meditation point is a point that two people can meditate on and be there together simultaneously. I think Buddhists and monks practice this. They can meditate on a place, have meetings of the mind in this mutual meditation point. It may be your favorite place. It may be a spot you go to meditate. Maybe your favorite bar or whatever, I don't know. But it's a mutual meditation point. You can use this in your everyday meditation life. You try and meditate with somebody, and you're not near them. You can both meditate on a place at a certain time together and record your interactions in this meditation at this meditation point. So this way, you can strengthen your telepathic or your spiritual bonds with each other. Because what you're doing in meditation is you're blocking out the physical. Well, you're using the physical and you're using the mental to enter into the spiritual, right? And normally we meditate in solitude. We're alone. But with these meditation points, you can meditate in solitude and still congregate with everybody spiritually, with whomever you want to spiritually at this meditation point. It's also a way to block out any unwanted meditators. It's like, okay, if I want to get peace and solitude where I meditate, right? If somebody's know I'm meditating in a certain place and I don't know how to astral project myself to a meditation point that I want to go to, then somebody could interrupt my meditation physically, mentally, or spiritually by coming into that space physically, mentally, or spiritually. So with this meditation point, you kind of travel away from that place where they know you're meditating at. It's a more advanced level of meditation. I'm leaving here and I'm going there, in a way. And while I'm there, whoever else is there meditating on that point, they're there with them as well. It's a form of conversation. It's a form of, it's a form of love. It's a form of, talking with that inner you, the higher you, the outer you. It's a deep thing, man. Let me see. These conversations, these meditation conversations, these mental conversations, however we choose to have them, they gotta happen organically. You can lead the mind there. You can lead your mind there. But it has to happen organically. It's not something that you could just go into. It happens organically because you're aware that there's more to life than just this physical thing that's going on. You're searching for answers to truths that aren't visible. Some truths aren't visible. Some truths just aren't apparent out here in the world. Some truths have to be, I'm eating the Werthers. Some truths have to be sought after. You can't just go to the store and buy some truth. You can't ask your parents about some truth. Sometimes your kids can give you some truth. But it's a lot of truth that has to be acquired and seeked inner and outwardly. This is why we have conversation. This is why we have discord. Because through that interaction, it allows you to transfer information. All right? Transfer information from one place to another through exchanging of words. The thing is, in these conversations, if you're really having a conversation, if you're having an intellectual conversation, sometimes we wonder how people come up with the answers or the questions that they ask, or present in a way. That's why sometimes if I'm having a conversation, I'll ask somebody to expound on what they just said. And it's not, when I say expound on what you said, what I'm asking is, I want you to give me a deeper explanation, because there's more to that answer than meets the eye, right? And there's more to my question as well. The whole thing is, we go through situations in life with people, without people. And through that, we draw conclusions. We draw conclusions about different things in life, and we come up with different answers for all different questions. And some of these are personal. You never know how a person arrived at that answer to a lifelong question that's been posed to them. That's why it's important to get a person's understanding, or, have them expound on the answers that they've given. It's beneficial for them as well. It's also beneficial for you. Because sometimes once we get the answers to the questions that we're asking, we put up blinders. It's like a horse that we want to win a race. Once we got our answers to the questions that we were asking, we put on our blinders, because nothing else matters. Because now that we got that answer, we see the goal. We know that this answer could get us to that goal, or this answer is, our answer. And everything else, we're blocking it out. Everything else is in one ear and out the other. But to build and really, have an intellectual conversation and arrive to some solutions for problems that we have in everyday society, you have to understand who a person is. You have to really listen and conversate with a person and ask questions about answers that was given. Yeah. You have to ask questions about answers that was given. And understand that every answer isn't definite. Because sometimes the answer is just merely a definition, not a definition. It's like them summarizing everything that they've been through and putting it in as one short form answer. It's like getting a fortune cookie, opening, you get that little sheet of paper. And it's like a person will go through 5 years worth of shit. And out of all that 5-10 years worth of things that they've been going through in their life, they come up with a fortune cookie sheet, little solution or answer to the problem that they were having. When it's not that simple, because you ask them to expound, they could write a book on the topic, right? But what is the trademark of being a genius, right? One of the trademarks anyway, is being able to explain something that's complex in as least words as possible, right? So that's what we all do, because after we go through all this shit, we become experts in that area, in that field, right? Life, whatever relationship situation, we become an expert in that. So now we can answer everything about that with one fucking answer. Shit's crazy. Bitch be like that. I don't know, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you gotta hold them and fold them. You never know what you're gonna get. The road's cold and icy sometimes, but damn it, you still gotta drive on them. You never know. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's the craziest thing because, when you challenge a person's conclusion to something, some people, they actually like that challenge and they like to expound on the answers that they've been giving you. Some people, it annoys them. They're like, oh, you got my answer, but I want to know how you arrived to your conclusion, right? Because we all got different, reasons why we arrived at this conclusion. And maybe your arrival to your conclusion was incomplete because you didn't get the big picture of what you really went through. That's the thing as well. I have conversations, man, that last hours long at times. And I welcome those because I like to, have conversations, sit, talk, drink tea and things like that. Because there's questions that's posed, not even by us, by the universe, there's questions posed. They're not questions that's spoken to you. They're questions that come to you. The older you get, these questions come to you. They come to you when you're younger too, but you don't pay them no mind because you got that youth, that ignorance of youth. You say, but the older you get, it all starts to come to you. The wiser you get. The older you get, the wiser you get. And the questions that you want to have answers to become more complex. When I know somebody got the answers to the questions that I'm asking, I'm coming for that expound. I'm coming for, I want to know, how did you arrive to that conclusion? Because there's more aspects to the answer that you just gave me than just the answer that you gave me. You know what I mean? Our answers our answers are multifaceted, but we always boil them down to one or two words or a quick statement. When really, if you want to get down, if you really want to know the fullness of a thing, the truth behind a thing, you can't really boil any answer down to a one-word response, a yes or no, or maybe, or just a mere phrase or just one statement. And that's because the question that was posed was multifaceted. It's like, it's like, okay, the question that was posed had levels to it. You know what I mean? It had levels to it. It was about life. It was about physical. It was about this. It was about that. It was about everything. So how could you give such a simple answer? And I mean, it's easy to do that after you figured everything out and come up with your conclusion. But at the same time, you got to walk the person asking this question through the same footprints, through the same footsteps that you followed to come up with your conclusion. Otherwise, they may go through the same exact things and come up with a different conclusion out of everything. And that right there just paused me for a second. Because sometimes when I'm talking and I'm doing these podcasts, I'm thinking and I'm actually having recollections. As I speak, I'm having recollections about conversations that I had in the past. And one thing I don't do, I don't get on here and divulge my conversations that I have with people, with my people or whatever. Because, conversations are very personal and very private. I might get on here and do a segment, do a show on something we was talking about, but not exactly, but just where that conversation made me go in my mind. That's what I get on here and talk about at times. And just what I go through. It's therapy. It's therapeutic. But that happens when two people go through the same exact situations or similar situations. And they sit down and they start to, talk about each other's conclusion to these situations. Well, how did you handle it? Well, I handled it like this. Well, how did you handle it like this? Well, I handled it this way. As they start comparing situations in this conversation to come up with their answers, they're seeing that they handled the exact situation in two different ways. This is why you have to build. Because somewhere in the middle of those, or outside of those, is the right way to handle a situation. Let me take that back, because there is no right and wrong way to handle a situation. Johnny handled it one way, and Bobby handled it one way. The whole thing is, the answers might not be the same if you ask them about that situation, or if you ask them something leading them to make them think about that situation. They're going to give you an answer based on how they handled that situation, even though their situations were very similar. Bobby probably beat somebody's ass. Johnny probably just, went to the cops or something. You never know. It's two different people there. One person, his answer was aggression. The other person, his answer was peace. But both of them came to a solution. That's why you want them to expound. Bobby probably seen it from a different way, or, his character is different. His thought process is different. Who he is different. So his answer is going to be different. This is why we can't simply say, oh, well, I know the answer to that. Because you don't. Life don't have just one answer. There is no one answer to anything out here. There's your answer and there's my answer. There's your truth and there's my truth. There's your lie and there's my lie. Because you could look at my truth and say I'm a fucking lie. And I could look at your truth and say you lying too. Wrong feet on two different shoes. That shit ain't make sense, but y'all know what I meant. Man, life is deep that way. You know what I mean? And hopefully you grow older and you get wiser and you're able to retain all the memories that you had growing up, getting to wherever point you are in your life. Because those memories holds the answers to a lot of questions that you have, that you pose in your everyday life. Because a lot of times we go through situations when we're 10 years old and we get answers, right? We get answers to things that we don't even have to deal with yet at 10 years old. We get answers to questions that we're not going to have to ask until we're 30 sometimes, at 10. So at that point, you got to look back at your 10-year-old self and say, damn, what memories do I got? Because I remember that I had something in my memory that could have helped me now at 30. And I got it back when I was 10. That's what the memory bank is for. That's why it's called a memory bank. It's a repository. It's where you put your memories in and always reach back and get them. But you don't get to do that if your ass got amnesia, some goofy shit like that. Running around here getting clunked over the fucking head all the time. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't get it. You gotta cherish every moment and try to retain it. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody perfect. Everybody indulge in some type of, pastime. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's marijuana, whatever the case may be. I do. But the whole thing is, it's like, even in inebriated states, why do we remember the things that we remember? Even in inebriated states, you still got the ability to retain information. It's because the information is meant to be retained for future purposes. Now, you might not retain it all at times, and you might need a little help figuring it out. But you already have the answers for any questions that you ask, that the universe posed. You already have the answers. The answers are within you. A lot of answers are within you because they're sent to you, through others. That's why these conversations are deep. That's why when you're having a conversation with somebody about a real deep topic, sometimes you got to stop and ask them to expound or ask them, ask them to not expound, but, break it down in a way, not that they're wrong about the things that they're saying, but there's more aspects to the answer that they're giving you, especially if it's a one-word answer or something like that, or a simple answer. Sometimes you got to point out that there's more aspects to the things. Like, okay, if I say, you say, damn, man, I see you've been doing a lot of things. This has been a great journey. How did you reach the pinnacles that you reach and achieve the things that you did and, accomplish, whatever you've accomplished? And I say, oh, man, it took a lot of practice, hard work, determination. I had to, cut a lot of people off out of my life. I had to really, stay vigilant and shit like that. But it took hard work and determination. All right, determination. Okay, hard work and determination. How hard did you work? How determined was you? Exactly what did you go through? Hard work and determination is a lot right there. Because some people idea of hard work ain't hard at all. And some people idea of hard work might kill others. Some people can't do strenuous labor. You know what I mean? Some people, what I say? Hard work, effort. Yeah, effort. Like some people, effort is effortless. Some people have no effort to give. They make everything seem just simple. It just comes to them, bloop, just like that. It's effortless. Some things happen effortlessly for some people. For some people, they can't buy a fucking, they can't buy a fucking good luck. That happens. And half of that is because the way we understand things, our perception on things, because you can have the answers for any problem in the world. You can have the answers to anything. But if you don't perceive, yourself doing better or making it out of a situation or anything like that, it'll never happen. Even if you have the answers. It's like that thing where things go in one ear and out the other. You could be talking to a person clearly, stating exactly what you want them to hear and know. But then you turn around, and they just don't remember. They just won't remember. It just won't click. It's because they're not meant to receive that at that moment. Either that or they're being, they're being blocked from receiving the information. One ear and out the other, basically. Their mind isn't there. It's somewhere else. Oh, man. All right, this has been my episode. I'm going to wrap this joint up. I'm getting a little bit hungry. But, yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening. Check out the music. Check out the podcast. Books available. Yeah, doing it like that. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all. Peace.